Welcome to the podcast Interviews. I'm your host, John.
And I'm your co-host, Sadie.
And I'm Jen.
Part 2. We have Jen back, you guys. I'm super excited about this one. Thanks for coming back on the show, Jen. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, I was really excited, actually. So I had a good time the first one.
Yeah,
and then
fun.
Watching all the other ones, like, oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Seeing yourself on TV makes you feel a little famous.
I mean, at least it's in a good way this time, and I'm not all tweaked out fucking, on a Netflix series somewhere.
Right.
No, it's a good time. It really is. And it's kind of therapeutic, even for us. We sit back and watch the videos ourselves and kind of go over it and go, man, it's kind of impactful.
Yeah.
So, Jen, we left off with kind of a little bit of your life story, a little bit of backdrop on it. You, at one point, were living in the canyon, maybe not so much born there, but you basically considered yourself from there at one point. Moved out to Spokane and kind of tasted a little bit of what life had to offer as far as the ups and the downs. But through all your tribulations, triumph succeeds, and here you are today, a testament to somebody who's been through the ringer. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like everything happens for a reason, right? Like, and I'm really kind of glad that I had a hard time for a while in my life, because it's humbled me now, right? Like,
right.
And plus I'm funny, kind of. So you can't have looks and be funny at the same time. It just doesn't work.
It's
so
a great coping mechanism. Right? You know what I mean? Laughter's a great coping mechanism for sure.
Oh yeah. I used to have very, very dark, toxic humor, but I think the more that I've been trying to heal my trauma, the more it's kind of going away, and I'm being a little bit more mindful of how I present myself, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have no filter forever. I mean, I still don't to some point, but I also am a little bit more grown up, I guess, now.
I think I'll speak for myself anyway. I think at 44, I'm just to the point where I feel justified with my filter.
Yeah.
I don't disrespect people with it, but you know what I mean? I feel like I've been quiet long enough, and I'm not out of malice, so I'm going to speak up.
I hear that. I hear that.
So, Jen, tell us what's going on, man. You're still in school.
Yes, I am.
And you're doing good?
Yeah.
Got good grades?
4.0, baby.
4.0.
Morning classes are kicking your ass.
Yeah.
Man, so
this law class I'm in, dude.
See,
I'm in a criminal law class right now, and this fucking class is hard.
Right.
Jen, in all reality, how good does it feel to stop talking about 10 and 2 and start talking about 4.0?
Yeah. No, that's a real thing.
That's a real thing,
That
man.
is a real thing.
Pat yourself on the back for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
There's people out there that struggle or are currently in addiction, you know what I mean? And it really feels like a bottomless pit, like they can't get out of it, you know what I'm saying? Is there anything that you would like to maybe give them as a word of where to start?
I mean, I just would don't ever give up hope. I think hope and having faith that one day that I wouldn't be there forever, right? I think people just kind of get sick and tired of at a certain point, finally that it sounds cliche, but you either die or you fucking go to jail, or you know what I mean,
Right.
Or you go to treatment and you actually get it right. I don't know, people in recovery, a lot of people are oh, it's kind of dumb, relapse isn't part of the process and this and that, but I have found every single time that I had relapsed in the past and I got sober, I learned something new about myself, right? And it was actually kind of a cool revelation of growth in myself, I guess. And I'm oh, well, we're not going to do that again, right? Or we're not going to hang out with, these people or go here or whatever. And, it's been a learning experience to go through the motions of relapse, get sober. And I'm speaking for me, not anybody else in recovery, that that was part of the process of where and how I got to where I am, right?
Yeah, every single turn you take in life leads to a different path, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all the effort put forward, and then you come to a crossroad where you find yourself in relapse or having to make a decision that might alter the course of your success.
Yeah.
You start to realize that those are actually tools to use for the next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the biggest thing that helped me to stay on the track that I'm on is finding people that have goals and ambitions and tagging along with them, right? Even if I wasn't I've struggled with self-conscious, but even if I wasn't confident enough to be around them, I would still go out of my comfort zone to do it, because I believe that that, I mean, obviously that's how you get to the next step of
Right.
where you know, you don't want to be stagnant, right? Like
Right.
you don't. So yeah, I've been like doing things way out of my comfort zone, and I think this is going to be a cool year, you know, for me, because I don't have like any goals that I'm like seeing in the future, right? Except for like graduating college, and that's next year. Right now I'm just trying to like, you know, stay stable and maybe get ahead a little bit with my finances. So, but besides that, like, I think this is just going to be a cool year to be able to like live my stability, right?
That's what's up, man.
Yeah. So
A lot of effort put into it. You know, I hope you reap everything that you're sowing.
thank you.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate that. Yeah. I don't know. I did this because I know I've been through some shit, you know, and I want people to like see this and, you know, be like, holy shit, dude, like if anybody knew me back in the day, they would never believe like this is me.
Are you
right?
like the type of person that you're trying to say, if Jen did it, you can do it?
Yes,
too?
yes, I am.
Yeah. I'm the same way with business. I grew up on welfare.
Right.
I had no schooling. I
Right.
had no parenting. I have no clue how I ended up in this seat.
Right.
I really don't.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
It makes a very grateful person when you wake up and you don't believe your reality. I thank God every single day.
Yeah. Well, I actually, like, I know it's so hard sometimes, especially, like, people that are, like, living in their car, you know, they have no place to live and they're still using, like, I found that, like, staying positive has been, like, key for me, like, because it's been manifesting, like, my positivity, right? Like, I remember, like, being, you know, just depressed and, like, blaming everybody for my shit when I was sitting in my car by myself, just, you know, sad or whatever, but, like, I'd also attract that shit, right? Like, and now I try, like, even when I'm, like, oh, I fucking hate this, right? I'm like, this is great, like,
Right.
you know, because it's like, words are powerful, so I'm just trying my hardest to, like, just be different, like, every day, like, and just strive for, like, things that, you know, I didn't think that I would be able to get.
So is there
Right.
like a very small but obtainable goal that you're focused on right now? I mean, even if it's just a new pair of shoes or...
Well, I just
you
went and
know.
got my hair done today, so I mean that was
That's
that was
good.
kind of a cool thing, like self-care, right, type thing. I'm still kind of adjusting to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because my red has been like my identity for a while, but also like it's one of those where like I went and did this because I know that like I'm not that person that anymore, right? Like that's
Right.
not like who I am, right? And I'm trying to figure out who I am right now. So I'm like obviously having an identity crisis. And what do? You dye your hair.
No, my girl noticed it right away. She's seen one of your posts. She goes, "Oh, Jen did her hair."
Yes, I did. I actually
It
went
looks
to,
very good though.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I went to the Paul Mitchell school and actually had them do it. So,
nice.
yeah, it was cool being in there, right? Because like everybody's learning, and I mean, I felt like I walked in there and like everyone's like
I would
looking
be
all,
scared.
huh?
I'd be scared.
It was very
learning
awkward.
on how to dye hair.
See, I mean, and this was
Ooh, I
like,
already fucked my own hair up
Yeah,
doing
bro,
that
yeah,
shit. So.
yeah. I mean, it was okay though. Like I hated it when I got home. But like
Right,
I'm
you always
slowly,
do.
I'm
You always
slowly
do.
adjusting. I'm like, I hate it. Like I
You
can't stand
always
it, right?
do.
But
Every time you do a change, you're like, I'm gonna love this. I'm
Yeah.
gonna love this.
Yeah.
All
And
right,
you do
ladies,
it,
this
and then
ain't
you're
the
like,
most important part of the podcast. You heard all the beauty tips. Now we're gonna move on to like super successful life stories and stuff. So I'm sorry.
That's a super successful
I just felt like you got. I know. I just felt like I got excluded for the first time on the show.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
sitting
so
over here
sorry.
like just.
should do some shit with your beard.
he was quiet.
I was talking.
Fucking go braid it out, right?
Did what I not talked about it. I said pick a favorite color because I'm tired of this gray.
Do it.
Like, dude, something for real. I always made fun of those dudes too. You know what I mean? Like WrestleMania, brother, got an orange beard. You know what I'm saying? It was never me, but now that I'm gray, I'm like fucking green, yellow, orange. What's up?
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
feel that. No, I
Yeah.
walked into the Paul Mitchell school and like, you know, everybody in there is like under 25 years old, I swear, right? And I'm like, I texted my friend, I'm like, I feel like the biggest redneck walking up in here,
Right.
just all like scrubbed out. Like, I have this giant red like hoodie on that says fucking mint on the front, and it's doing this, you know, and I'm like,
Right.
but you know,
So
it is what
Jen,
it is.
you take college courses right now?
I do.
Like, so you have multiple teachers?
I do. So like the courses I'm taking, it's a year-round school. So like by doing that, like I don't have a break off or anything like during the summer or anything. So like it shaves like a year off of my degree.
Oh,
So right now I'm wrapping up a criminal law class, and then my next two classes I can't remember what they are, but they're not very interesting, so it's going to be hard to pull through. But so I graduate next June.
So is there any
Wild.
like in the field hands-on training? Are you like digging up bones or like, you know?
I used to. Just jokes. No.
That's that
I'm like,
canyon
what's
life.
the story?
No.
She said, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's I know. I mean, like back in the day, it was all bad. Like I always found myself in the woods for hours. So, but no, I mean, just basically, no hands-on stuff. You know.
So all book training?
Yeah, pretty much. I do it online. Like it's on my own time, right? So,
And is it multiple classes directed towards one end goal result as a career?
Yeah. So I mean, just getting your bachelor's in criminal justice human services.
Okay.
So I mean, a lot of the classes are like mental health classes too.
Okay.
Right. And so like those classes were kind of easy for me just because I have like lived that, right?
No, I noticed when you said mental health, you kind of did a little shake. Mental health.
yeah. I've lived the crazy, you know, and like I also like I don't know, I can like spot patterns with people. And you know, my boss the other day, I said something about, you know, somebody, and my boss is like, good job seeing that pattern, because I'm like, I mean, I don't know how people don't though,
right,
you know, but it's just what it is. So
do you have any big tests or exams coming up that you're practicing for? Anything stressful that you're trying to study for? Or is it pretty much just read and recite, kind of common, you know, like you're putting the information together and it's easy to retain? It's not something super foreign to you? I
mean, sometimes it's hard to retain. Like my attention span is terrible, so I like it's just like reading, and then it goes to like, you know, like an eight question or quiz or whatever.
So the job title that you are seeking, is that a desk job or is that in the field job?
I mean,
in jail or prison? What are you trying to do?
I would like to do both. You know, I don't really have like a direction of what I want to do after I get my bachelor's. Like I did update like my resume that was on Indeed, and I got a job offer for a juvenile probation officer out in Medical Lake.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, no. But
that's crazy, because I literally, I swear to God, I was going to say, I don't know if your degree would get you into being a parole or
oh yeah, that's what
officer.
this degree is. Yeah.
You know, I'll say this. I mean, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. I get it. And then if you want out early, you got to do some paper, right? And you got to play you know, they're trying to put you back in society, so they want you to, you know, hold a job, stay drug free, don't offend, you know. But I think the problem lies in some of the people that get that job have a power control issue.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And I mean, I was on probation, and I just remember it being like overkill.
Mm-hmm.
And then one time I pissed hot for marijuana, right? And the guy who gave me the test wasn't my regular PO.
Right.
But my regular PO was in the building, so he goes and gets my PO, like he has to tell on me. And my PO comes in, and he looks at the guy who tested me, and he goes, well, you know, Mr. Bisbee's been doing pretty good. I don't know if that test was to fall in the trash. I don't know if it would still be hot.
Right.
And they both agreed, and they threw my test away.
That's right.
Together, which I thought was cool, right? But at the same time, I thought was kind of messed up that they hold the power and play with that.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm
with
saying?
that.
So what did they do when you really didn't want to be violated, but you were doing a good job and you did mess up a little bit, but now your kids are going to be going without you, or your old lady's going to lose the house or whatever, and they just decide that's not the day to be nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, and I do know what you're saying, and you know, it kind of brings a story to mind. When I was like on DOC or whatever in Montana, I had just gotten out of pre-release, and I kind of told that story in my last podcast, right, about me getting my own place, and then COVID hit, and then, you know, I relapsed or whatever, and then like I was homeless after that, right? And like I wanted to quit so bad, and I wanted help, and like I kept going to my probation officer, and I'm like, I fucking need help, dude. Like, and he's like, well, why don't you go ahead and go commit a couple more crimes, and then I'll sanction you, and you can go to pre-release for like 30 days. And I'm like, this is fucked up. Like it's almost like they were trying to, like, you know, it's almost like a
population,
it's a population control type situation
100%.
to me, dude. Like, go destroy yourself, you know. Like,
I had a friend who had violated or recommitted a crime. I don't remember exactly how the story went, but basically he had 2 strikes. Okay, the second strike that they gave him, they only put him away for 11 months.
right.
You know, to me, if you're going to give somebody something that carries the possibility of the third one being life, no matter what it is, the third strike is life.
Yeah.
that second strike is a really heavy situation. And if you're going to give them that, I think it should come with 5 or 10 years of prison. If it doesn't, then I don't think it should be a strike. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
And
yeah.
I told him, because he felt lucky about the 11 months, right? And I said, well, read through the lines, man. I think they gave you 11 months because they were sure you were going to reoffend.
Yeah.
And it would only be 11 months until they gave you your third strike and put you away forever.
Yeah, it's like it's setting you up for failure. The system is just completely broken. Yeah. And, you know, I'm not going through this to do anything on the legal side. I want to know how, like, our government actually operates. Right? Because I think that once somebody learns that, right, like, you know, they are able to, like, support and help people that they work with, like, you know, in the recovery field, right? Like, and that's kind of something that I thought was important when it comes to, like, you know, opening a sober living or, like, a transitional living house, right? Like, you know, you need to be person-centered when it comes to, like, supporting people who struggle with underlying mental health and addiction issues, right? And so, like, I really feel like it's important to know how our system works in order to better support, you know, people like that, you know, that keep reoffending. And, you know, like, you're able to go in there and just show them, like, I'm not a part of the system, but I do know how it works, and I'm here to fucking help you, right? Like, you know, so that's kind of been, like, the main thing that, you know, I've been, you know, keeping on the forefront of going through this class. You know, when I tell people what I'm doing, like, people get really standoffish, like, oh, you're gonna be a cop? I'm like, yeah, like a Paul Blart cop. Like, you see I know, bro, no. It would be all bad, dude. Like, hell no. Yeah,
I mean, I like donuts. Fuck it.
I mean, I feel that too, but, like, I don't know, like, I'm not, like, I just, for me, like, I'm more of like the recovery person that wants to help people, right? Because I just feel like that's just more of, like, a story that I have, right? Like, I don't have a lot of convictions, right? I have, like, maybe 3 things that were misdemeanors in my life, and then I got hit with a felony DOC charge for possession of dangerous drugs, but that was almost 7 years ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I wasn't.
And you got that expunged off your record, or no?
No, I haven't.
So everything you're going through, they allow felony?
Apparently.
Wow.
We'll see when I graduate. If I graduate.
Oh, man, tap you on the shoulder.
Yeah, they're like, hey.
You did all this work for nothing.
Yeah. It would be great.
I don't think they'd do
So
that.
what's something impactful, or just something that you've been able to possibly learn that you know for sure is going to carry on into the future? Because I know schooling is filled with a lot of hoorah, right? But something that you've actually learned that you're going to take into the future with you from your education.
I mean, I couldn't even tell you anything right now, to be honest with you, because there's so much that I have learned, right? Like, it's hard to retain something when you're learning something for the very first time. Yeah. And, like, we go through lessons, like, super fast. Okay. And so it was just there's so much, like, education there that, like, I couldn't even, like.
How much longer do you have to go?
I graduate in June of next year.
So quite a while still.
Yeah. I'm not a very good person at explaining things either. Like, I'm more better at, like, typing or writing things. Like, I've always had a hard time, and I've always struggled with, like, verbalizing and putting the words together. I think if we had you on at the after June, I think that same question would get answered completely different. Right. You
know what I mean? It was kind of on spot. You know what I mean? Tell us what 2 + 2 × 27 divided by 4
Yeah,
is.
there's no way. Nope.
Exactly. So, any plans after school? Are you going to go straight into a career? Or are you going to take a break? Because, you know, I think possibly Jen might need a little, what do you call that? Something you deserve, like a reward for all the hard work that you did. You might go to Hawaii, or, you know, just take off from the car or do a road trip. Is there any plan that you got, maybe just to treat yourself, maybe a purchase? I haven't.
Right. Like, yeah, I want one. I just said, so, like, I'm just living day by day at this point with my paycheck.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm just, like, being able to stabilize, like, paying my bills. I'm not getting ahead at all right
Something
now,
you started to speak on, it kind of made me start to think. You started to say something about the people that you're hanging out with now versus the people back then. You're hanging out with more positive people that have a seam of direction in life, you know.
Yeah.
And we know some mutual people, you know. Maybe I don't know them as well as you do, you know what I mean? But shout out to Anthony Singleton and his crew, the comedy crew in Spokane, Washington. that dude is an entrepreneur, and he is definitely, he speaks with an educated, mouth. So it seems like, if you're in that circle, because I see you shout him out on Facebook and stuff, that's the type of people you want to surround yourself around. Somebody who's looks clean and is going places. You know what I mean? And you just keep doing that for yourself, and I think you're going to do great.
No, absolutely. I think like being a life coach kind of would be cool, but like I need some more time under my belt to do that, I think, right? But like I just feel like it would be really cool to be able to like mentor people and like help people in that sense. Just to be there for support, right? And I think that that's kind of what like opening, a transitional house or sober living or something like that, would entail too, right? So I don't know. I was talking to somebody about like doing that the other day, and like he was talking about trying to like maybe look around out of state to places that don't have that type of resource, right? So like that got me thinking or whatever, and I have been looking into like how to do like the first time owners loan or whatever.
Horse.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I definitely could use one.
Yeah. Well, the treatment center over there, I graduated from the one RCM from the one over in Hungry Horse, and I remember telling him when I left, I'm like, I'm gonna come work here one day, right? Mm-hmm. And like I've been thinking about applying. Like I've been talking to a lady that works there or whatever, and she's like, you need to apply. Like
sometimes small towns, you know what I mean, they're a lot easier to get into the field of stuff. That's definitely a spot that I would probably pursue if I was you. You know what I mean? Because you could probably open up your own sober living there, maybe your own counseling practice or something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing is like they don't have anything like that over there for the most part. Like they, I've been following this pre-release that they're trying to build over in Kalispell, and there's the city, and the council or whatever, like they're kind of against it, but like they already have like some kind of permit. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hope they do build one in Kalispell, because I lived in Kalispell. I was a resident of Kalispell, and I was in pre-release in Butte and Helena. And that tore my family dynamic apart.
Exactly.
My children were checked out of my life for 11 months over sitting in a car next to somebody with weed on them.
Yeah, well, the DOC is doing some crazy shit over there right now, and I don't even see how it's legal, but like right now they're actually shipping out inmates from the prisons over there to out-of-state prisons.
Wow.
Like they're shipping them to Arizona, and they're shipping them, I can't remember what the other state was that they're shipping them to, but like they're doing it.
That's the first, man, because everybody who gets in trouble in Montana usually sits in daycare.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're doing it with Idaho prisons too right now.
Wow.
Right? And then there was a big scandal that I just was reading about too with like the guy that runs the prison in Deer Lodge, I believe it was, or something like that. But
there's Shelby or Deer Lodge.
He just like 4 or 5 of those guys that like run that place like just got put on administrative leave because they got caught embezzling money and shit.
Okay.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, no, it was kind of like the same thing when Homeland Security went in to do a sweep in Kalispell of the judicial system for a sex trafficking ring in like 10, 12 years ago, something like that. Like it was wild.
There was like a prison overtake. I think it was Deer Lodge or Shelby, one of the two.
Yeah.
But this was way back in the day, and they shot missiles at the prison. You know what I mean? They had like some cannons or something like that.
Right.
And there's
like
I seen it in the documentary. Yeah, there's still broken bricks on one wing of the wall from the missile hitting the cannon or whatever the fuck it was, you know what I mean?
It's like a museum now. They're like glorifying it.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Right?
Yeah.
I heard they still have relations with sheep, though. That has not expired.
I mean, I feel like it might be a law, to be honest, if we should look it up one day.
Oh my gosh.
They're bad.
Montana, where men are men and sheep are scared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know. Let's hear it. You know what I'm saying?
So dumb.
Right. So, Jen, your living situation in Spokane's probably going to have a better situation at one point if you're going to move on up the ladder with your career.
Yeah.
Do you have any aspirations or goals to buy a house? And if so, what do you see yourself doing? small little tiny piece of property.
Yeah, that's what I would love to do. Yeah, I mean, having a piece of property would be like ideal. I don't know, and it's weird because I'm not even thinking about like buying a house for myself right now. And like I was thinking about the other day, like I'm thinking about buying a house, but I'm not thinking about living in it. Like I'm thinking about like opening up, you know,
A B&B or something?
Well, no, like a sober living house, right? Like that's what I'm thinking about doing, and it's just like weird because like I mean I'd be renting, but then I own a house.
So if you had an all
like,
female.
Yeah,
You know, and then you could be like a live-in.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd want to.
I
That
wouldn't
might drive
want
you the
to.
fuck
It would
crazy,
just,
right?
it would be too much for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, right.
Like,
You need a break.
I just feel like too, like if
As the runner of the house,
Yeah.
and you know, so
I
you
ju-
need to keep it separate.
yeah, no, that's a real thing. Like I just feel like it would be too much, and everybody would probably be walking on eggshells, and
Right.
you know, wouldn't be like able to actually live their life, right? So
right.
I just feel like that would be, I wouldn't do that.
So when you guys are in this classroom setting, is any of the focus on the drug epidemic or that Spokane faces? For anybody that's not too aware of what's going on with the drug crisis out here in Spokane, we have a really bad problem with fentanyl, fenny powder, fenny perks, just fentanyl period, fentanyl laced everything. Anthony Singleton was on our show, and he actually was bringing up the fact that he'd lost some people to fentanyl. I have a close friend to the shop. She also bought a French bulldog from us, and her son, rest in peace, unfortunately passed to an overdose as well. It seems to have touched the lives of everybody or somebody you know.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's crazy to think, because I have a tattoo shop and I don't really know who's coming in and out, and I don't know what falls out of their pocket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know what they leave on the counter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have my children here at this tattoo shop, right? And a couple times just going down the rabbit hole in my thought process, I've thought, what would you do if you came in and you just seen your kid like non-coherent? Well, we have Narcan here on hand,
Yeah, I got
you know,
it. Yep.
and I already told myself if I even guessed, I'm Narcaning my kid.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not
I'm
gonna
calling
hurt 'em.
911, but you know, who knows anymore? I've seen episodes of like, you know, TV shows where the police have pulled somebody out of the car and they're searching them, and they can't even finish the search, and
Yeah.
the cop falls over and
Yeah.
overdoses
Yeah.
from touching it.
That's because it's just like such a minute amount,
Yeah.
Right.
you know. Like
There's a video out there circulating. There's 3 people walk out of a bar. They just came from the bathroom. They went into the bathroom at the bar. They all did a party line. And they walk out the bar to go smoke a cigarette. And one dude wiggles and falls over. The other dude goes to catch him, but he starts wiggling. He falls over. And the third one tries to go back in the bar, but can't even pull the door open, and they fall over.
Yeah.
All 3 of them dead.
Well, they're cutting everything with fentanyl.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
you get like, you know, coke
It's
for people
horrible.
that like just party on the weekends, you know. Like you got to be careful because it's like it's being found on weed right now, like,
Yeah.
and it's killing people, you know.
Is there a message that you'd like to shout out to anybody that you know, maybe because you had to leave a group of friends behind to carry on a new life? You have to depart yourself from old ways, you know.
Right.
It doesn't mean that we don't love you guys. It don't mean that we weren't there for you, but it means at one point we had to love ourselves,
Yep.
and we had to be there for ourselves, right? So is there you don't have to name them, but is there a group of friends or somebody that might know that you're speaking to them? Look them in the camera, say, hey, look, listen, man,
like
you've been
gotta
sitting
cut
in
'em
that
all off.
camper way too
Right.
long.
Right.
You know, you've made way too many homemade candles, and you know, what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Colored too many
Yeah, you know,
coloring
life
books.
ain't over, man. Don't count yourself out just because you've done something for so long. You know, it's never too late to change, and
Yeah.
that's not even just to drugs. Like, if there's something that you've always wanted to do, I don't remember quite who said it, but they said today is the youngest you'll ever be
Right.
to
Yeah.
start that new thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
30, 40, 50, 60, you know,
Yeah.
talking about maybe one day. Well, you might want to make that day,
Yeah.
expedite that. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. No, it's a real thing though. Like I know I don't know. I was very fortunate not to like get into fentanyl. Like I never tried it. right? Like I was just, you know, into like, you know, the white stuff.
Right.
I did struggle, you know, with opiates. Like opiates were my first thing, but it was like pain pills and stuff like that, right? And then I ended up going to the methadone clinic, and then I got off of that, you know, and it just was, you know, it's what it was at that point, right? But like I am just really grateful that I never
So do you
got
think
into
the
that.
clinic was actually a help, or do you think
Fuck
it was a
no.
crutch? Yeah,
No.
because a lot of people that I talk to, you know, they're on the high and mighty kick,
Yep.
but you know, they're abusing some of the
Yeah.
Right.
medications
The-
that are
the-
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the MAT
It's still,
program.
you're still getting
Suboxones
high.
or the,
You're still getting
um,
high.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
or
what I
the
mean?
whatever
And-
else it's called.
Yeah.
Unless it's used to literally just get you not dead from the withdrawals
Yeah.
and coming off of it. You know what I mean? You can to like use it for 5-6 years after 7 years of fucking
crazy.
street use. Like,
Yeah.
what was the point?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the clinic that I was going to, man, like the doctor, because I kept telling the doctor, I'm like, I said I want to start tapering down. Like I don't
Right.
want to fucking be on this, because I was on an obscene amount.
It's
Right.
insane how much drugs the doctor will
Yeah.
pump to you.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he's like, you'll be on this for the rest of your life, and I'm like, the fuck I
The
will,
fuck-
dude.
right,
Like
right.
you got me fucked up right,
Right,
now, dude.
right.
Like, and so I just quit paying, and then like they financially detoxed me, and that sucked. Like, it was the worst, probably one of the worst times I've ever gone through in my life. For like 6 months, I was sick. Like,
So you've come up with a schedule to manage this lifestyle, right? You have to
Yeah.
get good rest. You have to have,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You have to have nutrition, so you're on a good feeding schedule. You're eating right, drinking good fluids.
Yeah.
You're keeping your mind right. What does a day look like to you? What time are you waking up? What time? What kind of schedule is your day, and what's that look like? Especially compared to never going to sleep and
Right,
never
yeah.
having really nowhere to be at any certain time.
No, I just really like sleep. Yeah, that's like my thing now.
Anytime I call you, you sound like you're about to go to bed.
Hey, listen,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I am on a schedule though. I'm like an old person now, right?
So
Like,
what's the schedule look like?
You know, during the work week, I wake up at like 5 a.m. and then like it takes me like an hour and a half just to wake up to drink coffee, and then I go to work, and I just meet with people, and you know, there's a lot of the times like first thing in the morning when I'm at work, I'll do like, you know, an hour's worth of homework before like my day starts. Right, because like there's hardly anybody ever up at 7 a.m. anyway. So
Right.
you know, and that's actually like allowed me to be like really successful in the work school life, like the balance there, which, you know, I'm very thankful for. But like I tell you what, by the time I get off work, I don't want to be around anybody, because I have peopled so much during the day at work that like people's crisis like drain me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so like I honestly like I don't really hang out with anybody.
Yeah.
But you know, I do think that this has been a good thing, because like the solitude has actually helped me like get to know myself and get closer with my faith, right?
So you wake up very early. Are you a coffee drinker?
Yeah.
So you get your cup roasting, and then you get yourself showered and out the door. You're making it to your classes. You're doing your whole thing. What is the end of the day like for you? Is that an early day, a late day?
I mean, I get off at 5, so I work from 7 to 5.
And then home, dinner, and bed.
And then I'm right home. Like, I need to go get groceries, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get groceries after work today. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Right.
I don't know, man. I just don't like to people. Like, and then it's so weird, because like I'm a very sociable person, right? And I can
Right.
talk to about anybody.
When
Yeah.
I can be.
Yeah.
But like, do I assert myself to be? Fuck no.
Yeah.
It's just, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Like, I'd
Yeah.
rather not do that small chat. I'd
Yeah.
rather not ask you how your day was, because
Because you just don't really care.
you really don't. Like, because my day was my day, so why do I care what your day
Yeah.
was? Like, it's the
There you
weirdest
go,
thing
folks.
to ask somebody, how was your day? Who the fuck cares?
So she's just going through the motions.
Yeah, it's okay though. I mean, that's what it is, you know.
Yeah.
I
Right.
just, you know, I don't know, man. I am surrounded, and I'm in the work in the heart of like the crisis and the epidemic of, you know, society, and like the drug problem right now, and not just the drug problem, but just like everybody's mental health is so just off whack and out of balance right now because of how out of whack the energy is in the world,
Right.
and like all of the bad stuff that's going on, right? Like
Absolutely.
people get like secondary trauma just from like watching the news and shit, right? And then like it gives them like anxiety, right, about what's going on, and then
Right.
puts them in like this manic mode, right? So, and I don't even think that like half the people that like go through those motions like even know that that's what's happening.
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
Jen, I know when I, excuse me, I know when I was in active addiction, I internalized the feeling of that I was a dirtbag. That, you know, anytime I stopped to even pay attention to my life or what I was doing, it was a situation I didn't want to be in.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
It was just too much to deal with. I didn't want to watch that movie. Right.
Yeah.
That's not your life today. So in comparison, what's it like when you think about who Jen is now? What do you think about yourself?
It's it's really weird. Once you're able to like start to learn to love yourself, you know, like I'm still in that process, right? Because like I have my good days and my bad days. Like I have like body dysmorphia or however you say that word, like really bad, right? So like some days I'll be okay and other days I'm like, you know, I'm not okay, right?
Right.
But it's learning to love yourself is like been the huge aspect of my life in order for me to like build on like where I'm going in my life, right? I mean, and that you know, I always thought it was cliche when everyone says that, but like I've learned that all these cliche things,
Oh, it's so
it's
true.
the formula to fucking get to where you want to go, right?
So you're still in the process, but you feel
Yeah.
that self-love showing up?
Yeah, you know, and it's funny because I was having a conversation kind of like this the other day with my dad, and it's like, you know, I'm not really hanging out with a lot of people right now because like I think that I have like outgrown my normal like surroundings when it comes to like where I was socialized, right? But I don't really have like something that I have found yet, you know what I mean, to like what's the word I'm looking for? Just to like feel comfortable, right?
Right.
To be there, right? So like I'm still just getting to know the real me too, right? And some days I surprise myself, and other days I'm like, I'm wearing sweatpants to work, right? Like,
Yep.
you know, it's just it's crazy, you know. But I do love what I've done, and I know that my family and my kids are proud of me. I think that's one of the biggest things that I am proud of and that I want to continue to keep moving forward in my life is because my kids are actually seeing like me healthy for the first time in their lives, right?
That's good.
You know, and I did make a promise to my dad when my little brother had passed away that he would never lose me again.
Right.
You know, because like losing one child, you know, in
Right.
that sense, but like
You're checked out while you're in addiction.
yeah, well, yeah, I mean, and like my dad already went through like the grieving process of, you know, losing his only son.
Right. So you're talking overdose. You're talking literal.
Yeah, you know, and so I'm like, Dad, I told him, I was like, I won't ever go back out there again because I know how that would break his heart, right?
Absolutely.
So it's been a motivator to just keep moving forward, you know, and just at the end of the day, just like going home and feeling accomplished with your day is like, it's been just kind of rewarding enough for me, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not used to that feeling.
You know what? And this is off topic a little bit, but your father, if you wanted to communicate with him that possibly he'd want to ever come on here and get something off his chest. You know what I mean?
I'll talk to him about it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we'd be here for him. I mean,
He's lived a crazy life too.
if he spoke about his son, I mean, I promise you, I mean, I cry all the time anyway, but I mean, I would definitely be just tore up because that's absolutely a hard story to cover for sure. I mean, it's
Right. Well, so
unfortunate.
it's weird that you said that because I actually invited like a fire safety person to come over to my house not too long ago to like do a presentation on fire safety at my house, and I was able, you know, to get like a free fire safety kit or whatever that had a bunch of stuff. And then, you know, we signed people up that wanted to do it. So like the guy went over to my dad's house with him and his wife actually got a job with those guys.
Oh, nice.
Right. But my dad sent me a text message yesterday and he was like, I just want to thank you for, you know, inviting or like, you know, having these guys come to our house. You know, Rebecca's the happiest that she's been since we lost Jasper. He goes, so thank you so much. Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm that type of person where it's like, it's the little things, right? Like somebody will draw me a picture and I'll keep it for like 10 years, right?
Right.
'Cause it's
Yeah,
just
it is
little
weird what
things
really
like-
hits the heart.
Yeah, you know, and I've always been that way. So, but just seeing like the fact and the respect that I'm getting from like my family, you know, and actually like having them come to me for like advice now, which it's wild. Like, you know, and that to me is kind of like a validation of like the growth, right? And like they're actually seeing it, and it's
Oh
crazy,
yeah, it's
dude.
fun to impress your parents for once.
Well, so here's the thing though, like,
but, hey, look, not for once. I didn't mean to say it like that, but like instead of be like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now you're like, yo, check those grades out, man.
Yeah. Well, no, it's
is he
like,
still giving $5 for straight A's? Because I mean, you know what I'm saying? He owes you a couple bucks.
Yeah, that's funny. No, like I just feel like I set the bar so low with my family that like I do one little thing and they're like, "Holy shit!"
No, fuck that.
You
I feel like you cheated a little bit like that.
No, really.
She's like, watch this, man. I'm gonna show you how this shit's done.
Look, Mom, no hands.
You literally shit the bed. You shit the bed so bad for like 10 years straight, and then you don't even have to do anything great. You just have to literally stop shitting the bed, and they praise you. Like it's normal not to shit the bed, but when Jen doesn't do it.
Hey, no shit in here, yo.
Yeah. No, I feel like maybe if my dad would have lived to see my success, maybe that's how he would have felt. It's not that I was fucking up. I just didn't start the motor, man.
Right.
You know, I just wanted to smoke a lot of pot, and I had a free spirit, man. Like I lived in probably 10 different states from the age of like 15 to 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Different states. That's a lot of moving, man.
Yeah.
My first kid, Olivia, she went to 4 kindergartens in 4 different states.
Yeah.
She started in California. I moved her to Nevada. We flew to Alaska, and then I moved her back to Montana to be with her grandma, where she finished out kindergarten.
Right.
4 kindergartens, 4 states. That's insane.
Yeah, that is crazy. I know. I think my boys have kind of gone through a similar situation like that too. So
Yeah.
it's hard, you know.
But you know what, man? I don't want you to even put a frown on your face. You came in here super positive, dropping all this good vibe energy.
Always
You know what I'm
positive,
saying?
man.
For real, man. I'm going to keep it real.
Gang,
Super
gang.
fan favorite. We always love having Jen on this podcast. We're going to keep milking you, so it's going to be like 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and we're going to want to follow your story. You have a real story that's going to help people. I mean, this gets posted up on a global platform.
I know,
You know what
it
I'm
makes
saying?
me nervous.
So, but I'm gonna keep it real with you. I have another app, and I was on it yesterday, and the guy who was getting tattooed, we ended up sparking up a conversation with a lady who was sitting in Jamaica.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So, and she sat there and watched us tattoo.
Right.
So, you know, I've even seen some comments on some of our social medias on your episode, and the dude, the way he typed it in, you could tell he was not from America. It was like, good, nice episode, very much. I was like, so wherever they talk like that, man, they're digging it, dude.
Right,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying?
right.
Oh, yeah.
Right near the beach, boy.
I got in so much trouble for saying that shit. I was in the Yak, Montana,
Oh, no.
which is like KKK territory. You know what I'm saying?
Shouldn't be laughing.
And no, listen, I'm serious. I was like 14 years old.
Out.
I was like 14 years old, and they let you in the bar.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's how
And not
Candy
only
was.
did they let you in the bar, they let you in there without your parents, all this stuff, right? But the patrons of the bar, like the people that they'd let drink, they would let run tabs.
Oh
And
shit.
yes, you know, this bar was like on the side of the road right next to a trailer park. So everybody who lived in the trailer
right.
park,
Only one.
they would charge their alcohol and come clear their tab on the first of the month.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So I'm in that bar shooting pool. I'm like 14 years old, and I got my lesbian cousin with me, and so we do not fit in. You know what I'm saying? And somebody said, "Hey man, what's going on? Are you guys from around here?" And I hit him with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I said, "No,
No, Mom.
I'm from Jamaica."
Oh man.
He said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, right near the beach, boy."
The dude's like, what?
Yeah. And my dad was so mad at me because he was like part of that whole KKK crowd.
Right.
He's like, quit acting like that. You're embarrassing me. Blah, blah, blah. And I wasn't allowed in the bar for saying that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be 14, shooting pool at a bar, but you act like you're from Jamaica in a Montana bar. Boy, you got to get out of here, boy.
I love going to small town like bars and stuff like that, you know, like where you don't fit in, right? Like, so I went to this.
As soon as you walk in, everyone stares
stops
at you.
and
Literally
like
everybody in the entire bar.
You know,
it's like a moment of silence for the person who just walked in.
Bro.
From the stranger danger.
Do you know Mary Whitaker?
I know that.
She was a waitress at the Downtown Tavern. I believe she's passed, R.I.P. Mary. But she was just an awesome person. But it was that moment when I walked into the bar. So the Downtown Tavern. It's in the Hungry Horse where we have some mutuals. So the first time I walk into that bar, Mary is behind the bar, and she's just a very plain faced, straight haired lady, right? And there's an egg standing on the bar, just an actual chicken egg standing on end on the bar, and there is a broom standing on the bristles in the middle of the floor. And I walk in and I think everything's glued down, right? I'm like, this is some stupid ass shit, you know? And she goes, you're probably wondering about the egg, huh? She goes, I'll give you a free shot if you could stand it back up. And I pick it up and I cannot put the egg there. I can't stand it up, right? She grabs the motherfucker, stands it right
Just
up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I'm not kidding.
Some canyon.
Dude, she goes, move
voodoo.
that broom and try to stand it back up. I moved the broom, could not stand that fucker back
Yeah.
up. She walks up there, holds that motherfucker, lets it go, and it's standing up on its bristles.
I want to say I kind of remember something like that when I was
that's
younger.
there. She just knows how to do it. You know
No,
what I mean?
like that place.
There's a natural vortex there, and it actually has like a gravitational pull.
That place is a trip. I actually had a near-death experience laying in the driveway of that place.
Oh shit!
Like
The downtown?
No, the vortex, like the house of mystery there.
Yeah.
Like I almost froze to death.
Jesus.
Like it was crazy. I got into a fight with somebody and they took my car, and so like I was trying to go somewhere safe, and it was like negative 15 degrees, 20 degrees out, and so I walked from like Mike's, Conoco, and Columbia Falls and the Eagles or whatever. Like I walked from there and I made it all the way to there, the house of mystery, and I collapsed. I was so cold that I collapsed, and I was laying on the ground there, right? And like I was trying to get, like my legs just weren't working,
right?
And like I was trying to get somebody's attention. They drive by, and I laid there for like 4 hours, right? And then like,
my God.
no, it was bad. I almost froze to death. Like, anyway, I was laying there, and like all of a sudden, like it got really quiet, and it was pitch dark, right? And like I looked up above me or whatever, and like I could see myself floating, but like from where my shoulders to my hips were, it was blue sky. And then I heard this voice say, like, all you got to do is say if you don't want to live or not. And it was so, it was so fucked up because, like, I didn't want to live. I used to wake up every day just mad that I woke up. And, you know, but I wasn't, like, going to lay there and freeze to death for days, right? Like, that's not the way I wanted to go out, right?
That's your vortex.
Yeah, no, it was, and so, like, I finally just broke down, and I'm like, I don't want to die, you know, this way or whatever, and, like, the next thing I know, like, I close my eyes and I wake up, and it's daytime out, and, like, some guy had seen me and, like, put me in his car and called 911, and so, like, when 911 showed up, like, my body temperature was, like, 93 degrees.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude, so, like, I went to the hospital or whatever, and then, like, they, you know, were able to warm me up or whatever, and then, you know, kicked me out because, you know, I was using, and the Flathead Valley don't like, you know, don't.
They said it's just a cold tweaker.
Yeah. She'll be back.
Well, Jen, I wish we had more time. You know, like I said, we'd have to have you on a million times to have all the stories I'm sure you could tell us, man. But if you guys, you got any shout outs? You want to shout anybody out? Tell somebody to get their ass on this podcast? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Not really. Hi, guys.
Yeah. Yeah? Any mama?
No, well, thank you for coming on the show
Yeah,
again.
I love it. I always look forward
Can't
to
wait
coming
to have you
bullshitting.
again to hear some more cool stories.
I have a feeling we'll see you real soon.
Yeah, we should do it like a conspiracy theory segment.
Let's do it.
I'm all about that life.
I'm all about it. So yeah.
For real.
If you guys enjoyed the show again with our really good guest Jen, she always has a good time, good commentary. She's definitely going places with her newfound education and her goals in life and her achievements, leaving the past in the past, you know what I'm saying, and looking forward to the future. So Jen, our hats are off to you on this episode.
Thanks, guys.
We really do want to give you a little bit of appreciation for the things that you're doing and showing people that are possible.
Appreciate it, man.
If you guys would like to see more like this, Please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys know when we're posting another episode. To the one, the only. I had to get rid of the one and only, evidently, so you guys won't hear much of that lately. But so here's me signing out for the last time with the one and only. For the one and only Tattoo Podcast Ink Reviews. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
We ain't
See
cutting
ya.
nothing.
Bye.